Good morning. I am super duper excited and pleased to present to you my sweet friend Danelle Brown. And as I talk, I have this really cool voice that I always wanted as a child. This is not my normal voice, but I love it. I wish it would stay. I think I'm fighting something, but that's not the point. The point is, I insisted that Danelle share a little bit of her story to once again bring inspiration and encouragement to others about pursuing their dreams, the dreams in their heart. And even though it's scary and overwhelming and you don't know how you're going to do it, hearing her story will definitely encourage and inspire many to just take one step at a time. So right now I'm going to introduce her, Danelle Brown. We just closed on our first real estate deal. And Danelle, say hello.
Hello.
There you go. Okay, so Danelle, you're a single mom of three. Mm-hmm. That's not your identity, and I'm not saying that to label you or go, oh, she's a poor single mom. But what I am trying to say is you're a single mom of three, living very modestly on less than $2,000 a month, supporting her children, and just, working hard and living simply and making it happen. And I'm going to throw this in there too. She's just blown me away because she doesn't expect anything from anyone. She just works hard. She doesn't expect a better lifestyle and doesn't complain about not getting paid more. She just works hard, budgets, and she'll stay up till 9, 10 at night with a second job, and she'll bring her kids with her, or she just makes it happen. And I ran into her at a condo that I was listing, and we hit it off, and that's kind of the beginning of our relationship. You can maybe, I don't want you to touch on that too much, but we met, and then
you were listing a condo where I was working.
Yeah,
and that's where we had met.
Yeah, and you started talking about how you were interested in real estate, and
I had just started looking into getting it, and
you told me it was like 3 years or so that you had been.
That I had been wanting to do it, and so I went ahead and started, and
you were recently divorced, and that wasn't an easy time in your life that you started all this.
But I went ahead and started the process of getting it, and it took a lot longer than it takes most people with the jobs and the kids and everything like that.
Right.
But started the process. At first you weren't too keen on leading anybody into it, and then you came to me about 3 days after I initially asked you, and you said, you know what, I'm going to do it. I feel led to do it, and I couldn't be more blessed that you had that.
Well, what do you mean I didn't?
Explain.
Because
when I first asked you didn't want to take on any realtors.
Well,
remember? And then you came back and
you
said,
also,
you know what?
she also asked me, well, I've always wanted to do real estate. When people see that, I go,
negative.
Well, let me explain something, because what you see is like this much, and then there's like this much, and
like
it's mostly drama. No,
too.
and so I usually talk people out of it before I talk them into it, and not because I don't think anyone's intelligent or capable, but as far as temperament and all the moving parts and the time required, and it's really full-time plus if you're really in it full-time. And so she expressed to me, and I started to get to know her a little more, and she wanted a mentor, and I told her I didn't want to be a broker. I had my broker's license before. Anyway, it's not about all that, but my point is, I just said, you know what, I've had people ask me before, but I really feel like I should mentor you, and talk to my broker about it and stuff, and it worked out. But once again, it's about how her journey of getting here. Okay, yeah, part of the puzzle is me being able to mentor her and get a broker, which she did with Ultima. But so tell how, the people that you were helping manage a condo.
I was at the condos, and I was so lucky to have that job and have that opportunity and be around those people and that employer and everything. And then I had this one owner that would come to my desk every day, and her name was Kathy, and she would tell me every day that there was so much more for me. There was so much more for me. And she stood in front of me one time, and we had discussed my wanting to get my real estate license, and she put her hands on the desk, and she said, there is so much more than you behind this desk for the rest of your life.
Right.
And I just, at that moment, I just knew that it was. And then
it was meant to be, and you could do it.
And then some other people came into my lives that made me realize that I deserved so much more, and if I just worked for it, I could be something they could be proud of. And so
we were already proud of her,
it,
but meaning we were saying, sweetheart, you've got it. It's going to cost you something to pursue it, but you could be all that your heart dreams of being. And these people, once again, sowed that confidence and that trust and that faith and that encouragement into you.
And so I did it, and when I was finally done and I took the exam...
Wait. Tell about the envelope with you have to finish your studies. And...
Oh, Miss Kathy's envelope. She would give me envelopes and tell me I wasn't allowed to open them until I finished this course, or I finished this section of this course, or whatever. Envelope? Oh, there was like cash, and there was like Starbucks gift cards, and there was always something really awesome. And she would come down on Friday knowing that I had like a big study weekend planned, and she would have she would have like a study basket of like all these treats to eat and coffee and like little peanuts and stuff to snack on while I did it all weekend. I couldn't have done it without the amount of people that were around me saying, "You got this, you got this." I was really lucky to have that. And so I got through all the schooling.
I mean, how cool is that? Like this older lady, she's probably over 60, right? Mm-hmm. She's over 60, but sees Danelle, this young mom, working hard, smart, hustling, caring about the people, getting calls at all hours of the night. She didn't care if people would call her at like 2 a.m. or whatever. She was always there for them, and they loved her. And so here this lady is just giving her rewards, like provoking her to complete and finish and encouraging her. And I think that reminds me of parents. So often we're correcting and do this and do that and do this, but we're not giving them something tangible to look forward to as far as a reward, and say, you know what, there's a reward at the end of this when you clean your room. And not saying, I mean, we should clean our room just because we should, but meaning there has to be a level of understanding of reward, because later in life when they do their jobs, they understand that there's a reward, they get their salary. So Danelle, so you took the test and you passed.
Yes, I took the test and passed and came outside, and I think you were my very first phone call.
Woo-hoo!
And after I composed myself, it was like this weight was lifted off my shoulder, and then it just became a whole new game of angst and waiting. And it was like, okay, got my first listing from Joanna. Everybody, it's on Reddit, it's beautiful, give me a call. And then I picked up a few more listings in a buyer's agency, and then it was just learning all the steps and learning everything and being anxious about not knowing what to do. And you were amazing. First Title was amazing in walking me through the process the first time.
And and Craig were there every minute you had a question. So that's our
yes. And Paul was there. I had questions, and so everybody was so awesome in helping me with it. I'm so excited to have you as a mentor, and so lucky to be a part of the Ultima team, because they're just, I mean. Right. Even at a distance, they're right there, and that's so awesome. So
right, I think, and this is not an advocacy for my broker, but I think there has been a bad rap and a misunderstanding about Ultima. I don't know about the other agencies out there, but they're cheap and their agents aren't trained. Well, some may not be, because they basically give you all the tools and opportunity to pursue the training and the learning and the et cetera. But it's basically the ball's in your court. But the minute you need them, I've never had a situation. I've even gotten a hold of, like she said, Paul, when I needed, hey, Paul, what do you think about this? And he's very busy. And Craig, very busy, very busy. But every time I need them, they're always there. And so I had full confidence that between me being able to be here locally to mentor her and just walk alongside her, and to have the corporate people that are so tangible and accessible to help me help her, it's just been such a blessing to walk this out, because I'm learning and she's learning, and we're both growing in our skill. And she just closed her first sale. She had a buyer, and wow, it's amazing. Like
close. I have another one next week, so that's really exciting too. It feels really good, because it's been such a long journey, and it was just that kind of moment of final payoff, that kind of, okay, well, this was what it was all for. And I've been able to see the horizon for a long time, and I could see it, and it was getting closer and closer, but it's like I'm finally standing in front of it, and here's what I worked for. And so it's nice.
Yes, it's very nice. And in response to how do I say your name? Kamenika. There is money in real estate, and even if you start now. But one of the things that people really need to understand about real estate, it takes time to build up. We call it your sphere of influence. Okay, and if you're new to the area and new to real estate, it's probably going to take quite a while, because you don't know anybody. And it's just going to take time. Now, in Danelle's case, she had worked in just on-site condo management, and she had built many relationships, and she's just a tremendous light and kind-hearted person wherever she goes, and people love her. And so when Danelle wanted to go into real estate, she already had countless people who admired her and appreciated her and wanted to be around her and trusted her and wanted to help her because they knew that she would do everything in her power to take care of them and to stand by them and do what was good for them and right, and hustle for them and fight for them. So now she's seeing, the fruit of the love that she's sown out into people's lives. And that's why that lady wanted to give her little envelopes to inspire her to say, hey baby, keep going. And that's why other people kept saying, I see you doing so much more, you have it in you. And that's why people kept saying, we're with you. And that's why, my husband and I backed her, and there's just so many people that have helped her through this process, not because she's so great, but the Lord has revealed his goodness and his kindness and his love to her, and she has also revealed it to many. And so I really wanted to share her story because I've had a very privileged life, and when I meet these people, women, men, that have pursued the dreams in their hearts and actually started to walk them out, they're the most inspiring people I've ever met. I mean, another gal I can't wait to do an interview with is Matilda Pena. I mean, that gal, like, her story blows my mind. I'd be curled up in a ball crying somewhere, maybe not with Christ, but the fact that these people have just continued and how they've been encouraged along the way and discouraged, but they continued, is just amazing to me and so encouraging. So I hope that encourages people. I'm not saying come into real estate, and if you do, then trust God. If that's what you feel like you're supposed to do, then he's going to provide the people for you. But understand that there's a cost and there's time, and you got to walk into it and take one step at a time. So anyway, bye. Oh, thank you, Karen. I appreciate it. Bye. Say bye.
Bye. Bye, Karen.